Hi everyone, good morning. Well, it's morning here in Winnipeg. Thank you very much for being for my channel. I'm just letting you know that I am sporting a migraine at this time. I think I've almost beat it because it came in the middle of the night, and if you can catch it, if anybody gets migraines, you can catch it within 5 minutes. It does not last for 4 days. So I'm pretty sure I'm on that way, but I decided the way that I would do this would be to do readings. So bear with me, and this hopefully won't be too long of a reading. And we are going to, a spirit's going to offer messages for the next week that may be used to apply or assist, or maybe when something's transpiring, it may tweak an idea, thought. And so we'll just hear what spirit has to say to us today. So my 3 piles, the first pile is this amethyst, and this is a crystal point, and I believe this is iron, but it's a crystal point. I just happen to love the colors all around it. And this is a blue, I can't remember the name of it. Actually, I can rarely remember the names of stones. It's actually fortunate when I do. I do need to talk to my friend Sherry from Freedom's Wind to ask her to go through my stones so that it looks like that I know which stones they are. What I do know are what the stones represent. The properties of the stone, that's all intuitive. It's just something that I've been born with, and I've been a rock collector, oh God, my entire life, and as well as shells. So, and I'm hoping I'm not going to babble on too much. So welcome, and we will begin our reading. So if you want to just think about it, it's the amethyst, the quartz points, and Apitite. Apitite, I think that's what it's called. Okay, so that's number 3. So if you want to pause, that's fine. In the meantime, I'm going to begin with pile number 1, which is the amethyst. And so we're just going to ask spirits. We just have to clear the space. I have smudged. Clear the room. And ask for spirit to come. I typically do this prior to the taping, but asking spirit to come and bring the messages that pile 1 needs to hear at this time for the next week. Okay, so the first card that comes up is the Spirit of Initiation. So this upcoming week, and this would be the starting point from where you're at, but with the card of the initiation, it means that you've transported over, I love the word, transported over into almost a new way of thinking. It perhaps may be a new analysis of the way you've seen things in the past, or see a situation that you're in right now. It's about a situation that you're in right now. That's clear what they just said. And it's all that you've had to work through. And I think up until this point, I believe that it's been quite a struggle. So when it comes to the Spirit of Initiation, pile number 1, you're amazing beings. That is what I'm going to say. And the initiation comes from going from one stage of your life soul's journey to the next stage of your soul's journey. And so there were things that you needed to work through that were presented to see how you would handle them. And the situations, if you're in a period or in a place where you're consistently thinking, why is this continually happening? Why is this continually happening? And then, people always put their 2 cents in worth. And the reason that they're happening, it's not because you're a bad person. It's not because of self-doubt or any of these things. What it was an initiation to move you through, to learn these lessons that are necessary for you to learn. So in this next week, you're going to be able to utilize the lessons that you have worked through, that you have been determined to focus on and see yourself through. So there's going to be a lot happening within the next week, and it starts from there. So it's just, you just may wake up and go, wow, it's a new day. I get to, choose different thoughts, different ideas, and I'm going to see things from a higher level. It's not from I'm not going to necessarily say from a higher perspective or a new perspective, but it's from a new level. It's leveling up on your journey, like going from, having your eyes shut all the time to really wide opening your eyes wide, to take on what in your soul's journey is meant to be. So lots is actually going to transpire within the next 2 weeks. So the next two cards will be, let's say, the challenges that may come up at this time, and and reminders of what's necessary for for you to the tools or the skills that you really need as you manage your way through. Because when you start responding, acting differently on this higher level, not everybody always completely understands, but you're kind of more sitting back where you were in this playing this active role, but now you're doing it on a spiritual level. If this resonates with you, then this is your pile. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can either comment or you can let me know. But I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in synchronicity. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and so everything that's happened up until this point has brought you to this, moving to this next level of spirituality. Now, I also believe that this group, number one, that many of you are, I would say, it's healers, but they said 2 words, and one is healers, one is, it's just not coming to me. And so it's a period that there may be a few people that say oppose what's going on, because it's, that's them. So that's what you need to remember, because the next card that comes up in the tools and skills is to really learn to nurture yourself in every way possible. Remembering that balance is imperative to our journey. So making sure that every level of our journey, or of your journey, is that you're nurturing what you're releasing, because there will be things that will kind of be brought up, but it will be brought up, say, something that may have happened, last week or last month, 2 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, and all of a sudden you'll have this feeling, and you'll go, I've experienced this. I know a different way of managing, or I have a different skill set on that. And so to remember to nurture yourself, because as you release, you do need to nurture that part of yourself that you are releasing, even though, because so many things that do transpire in our lives, and they begin at a young age, we hang on to those things. They become a part of us, and they become part of our scenario, or of our own inner culture. And your inner culture, that's what's changing. And so to nurture yourself as you release. And you know what, even when we release things that were negative, we still need to really nurture and send those away with blessings, with love, and with blue healing light. It's super important. And again, to do the Ho'oponopono is quite respectful to yourself and to your relationship with the divine. And the Ho'oponopono is, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And you say that over and over and over again as you nurture that part. And that the Ho'oponopono is really in regards to your relationship with spirit. It's not the divine. the Divine Spirit. It's not about forgiveness. It's about you have now learned, and you are making the choice to release. And so that's why it's really important. Something comes up and it is, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And just say that over and over again as you nurture that memory, that thought that's been, maybe taking over your mind over the last little while, however long it's been. And the other next card that comes up, tool, and it's the Dancer of Joy. So we have two spirits as the first two, and that means spirit is with you. Your guides are with you. Call to spirit, ask for spirit. Take that 5-minute time, and you know what? Just put your hands over your heart. It could be just along the chakra lines. Put your hands over your heart and reflect. When you let it go, it's time to celebrate after that. So spirit is on your side. And now they're saying, if you can work through all of this, then it's this dancer of joy. It's time to celebrate each and every moment of this next week. Every moment, good, bad, indifferent, up, down, everything that you're experiencing, saying, I'm grateful for this experience. I'm grateful for this experience because it's allowed me to grow spiritually along my spiritual journey. And the final card in here, wow, is that where you may have lost hope, the ancestor of hope. So with the ancestor of hope, these are our past loved ones, or our guides. Typically ancestors are past loved ones. And so they really don't want you to give up on hope. And that may have been where you might have been feeling. And, because of this initiation of hope, and things didn't always seem to be working out, but now you're nurturing that part of you. And then you're singing in joy, or you're dancing in joy. You're just enjoying life. And it's just freedom of the abandonment of what is no longer serving you. You'll know that it doesn't serve you because it doesn't feel good. And from that, you're going to be celebrating all these milestones, all these little things, because you not have to learn to, once again, to start celebrating. So whatever you've been through in the past, that past is coming to a completion, and new hope is going to arise. And if you ask within meditation, if you stop back and ask within a meditation and say, what do I, need to know that's going to bring me the most hope? But there is going to be periods where you are really going to see that hope is back. And that's part of, for me, myself, I was always very resilient, and I always thought very positively. But due to a lot of circumstances that went on even the last couple months, where I had gained all my hope back again, it seemed that I had lost it. But I believe that I'm on this pathway of learning resilience and focusing on myself. And that's not being selfish, but focusing on myself, because my soul's journey is to help others, but I also have to take care of me. So I'm pretty sure that would make sense. So for the next week, you have this whole period of going, being initiated into this new kind of group, and it's a spiritual group at this point, and Spirit is very, very proud of your successes and how well you have been. And they're also saying that you have not been proud of it in many ways, perhaps because it's been hurtful, and you've been working. That's the difference. A lot of people may sit back, not you. You work through it, okay? So nurture yourself and then celebrate, dance with joy. Just just dance, let your hair down and dance. And that's where the hope is going to come back to you. And I know that's a lot in a week, but I do believe that if that is incorporated into our lifestyle, such as exercising, such as eating, such as working, all of these things are important: mind, body, spirit. Okay? And so those that are not have maybe backed away because of certain situations, Spirit is saying it's time now to come back in and to see things for what they really are, and how they transported. I just love this word, transported, because the truth is, manifestation happens when we least expect it, but we've set the intention, and it was a part of our path, because we had to learn to be better at what we do, whatever that is. Okay, but it's connecting with Spirit. And for people that are religious and go to a formal church, that could be you re-entering in a different manner. And this side just said to me that there is a group of people, or a person, somebody specifically, that is going to re-enter. I can actually see them entering in and become very welcomed within that community, because this is about community, and being with the community of people that now support you and don't put you down, or don't keep you there, because you've had to learn. And so going into this new congregation, Spirit's just saying that you're going to walk in there, but you're going to need to walk in with pride. Nurture yourself, so you know it's like walk in, and then when you go in there, present what you intend, how you intend for them to see you. Okay? And they also just said that one of the things that you've had to work with is being seen. I actually had this feeling that much of this reading was going to be about the throat chakra and speaking our truth and being true to ourselves and healing with all, and it is about healing. But this is more so with connecting with community in a way, in a manner that is true to you, to who you are, and nobody gets to change that. Okay, so I'm hoping that part made sense. And so, wow. So the next deck that I'm using is the Archangel Guidance card by Doreen Virtue. And so the first card is of teaching and learning. And this is Archangel Zadkiel. I'll just share part of this, that I had miscarried many, many years ago. And that was my child's name. And so I love to see this card in. Zadkiel is in my peripheral at all times. My main spirit guide is Miilo, but Zadkiel, who I call Keely, is there as well. And one of Keely's lessons is that when we teach, we also learn. And so remember that it's important, the words that come out of your mouth, the way your body responds, the way you are thoughtful, mindful. If you're teaching that to others, also learn from that. Learn so that you can grow. We're always evolving. That's the intention, is to evolve. So he's saying keep an open mind and learn new ideas. Then teach those ideas to others. There was a video that I watched last night. I don't remember the gentleman's name. It was a TED Talk, which is one of the that I love to listen to. And it just confirmed what I had been missing in my world, and that's this resilience, and that's this opportunity for me to see the hope that's been out there. And perhaps that's why, as he was teaching me, I was learning. If we were face to face, the two of us could converse in order to learn. The truth of a conversation is one in which we can both communicate different ideas, different opinions, and take what resonates. And I know people love to say, I'm going to agree to disagree. I don't believe in that. I like to say, I accept your opinion. I understand where you're coming from. It's just not my belief or my thought process, but I will give it some thought. And then in doing so, we are able to share that, present that knowledge moving forward. So the next card that comes up, again, this is so much. So where we have the Ancestor of Hope for this coming up week. This is Shamuel, Archangel Shamuel, and this is about peace, and that's with the dove. And these cards are, and Shamuel was one of, I believe this is Metatron Shamuel, I think did live in human form at one point, so does understand and experience. But Archangel Shamuel is a very peaceful, and that's a reminder of that nurturing that needs to partake in your journey at this time. And remembering that only love is real. Everything comes from either a fear state of love or a secure state of love. And so everything is choice. And so it's, if, one of the goals, because you want to bring your hope back, if one of your goals is to be more peaceful, then be more peaceful. Stop watching, crazy news stations or, any kind of negative TV shows. Right now, clear out the negativity which is in your world. And those are the outside influences that can influence us. They have to, especially if you're watching them all the time. So it's really to find that peace. Is this going to bring me peace and joy? Is this, going to work towards the hope that I'm moving towards? And so, call out to Shamuel and just ask him. And then rely on your intuition to guide you through the process. So the next card, interesting. The next card that comes up is the chakra clearing. Really importantly, because this is Metatron. Now we're coming to Metatron. I think I said the last one before, but Archangel Metatron was the second archangel that did live in human form. And he's just saying to call upon him. If we have any blockages in our chakras, we can typically feel they express themselves as in, disease, or you get a cold, or you get, a sore throat. All of these metaphysical things come from, say, either, I've never heard that before, holes in our chakra, or blockages in our chakras. I had this huge conversation with my guide last night about blockages, and that's why I present readings as I do, because blockages are super important to me. Because when we have the blockages, it's we have to release those blockages, fully release them in order to move forward, because we have to rewire our brain, which is that neuroplasticity. And the theory of neuroplasticity says that we're not hardwired into everything that we've previously learned. We can go back and start a new pathway, but you have to practice that. So that's what's going to be happening this next week, and it's going to begin with you seeing things differently, seeing things as a student, and then applying it as a teacher. That's wisdom, and always walking towards the peace, finding the peace, discovering that, nurturing ourselves, and clearing our chakras so that those blockages don't affect what's going on within our world for the next week. And a very, I'm going to say, simple, easy way of clearing our chakra after you've learned, but it's really to If you want to do it with music, that's fine. Again, I have a chakra clearing meditation. If you want me to send it to you, I can easily do that. I would have to find it. But to begin with, drawing the energy of the earth up all through us to cleanse, and then leading up to the divine spirit, ouch, that hurt, and then allowing that flow to come back down as in the white color, as in the blue color, and then surround ourselves with the golden light. And that blue color is what's going to heal you and will continually heal you until throughout the day, until your chakras are clear. And so you don't have those blockages, or as many, or as substantial blockages that may be holding you back, because Spirit doesn't want you to be held back. That's very apparent when I see this card. It's like, fly, fly, fly. It's time for you now to be released. And Shamuel is saying it's time to release the true and real you. And we all know who that is. We just need to uncover all that we've transpired, or all that we have been through in our life, to get back to this, to that place of clarity. And then the final cards in the Archangel is the clair essence. So this next part of your spiritual journey at this time, for this next week, and the card is clairsentience, and that is the ability to be fully aware of recurring physical and emotional feelings, because this is the divine spirit that is coming to either point you in the right direction, reminding you of something. It may be reminding of how unique and precious and special you are. And so ask for assistance, and know that this is your goal, is to just become more aware of all that surrounds you, because this change that you're going through it's a pretty tall order for a week, but it's not something. It's the first 7 days in order to begin the process, because it takes 21 days in order to change a habit, and that's not necessarily true to all. That's what has been studied. I do believe that if it's your accountability, your responsibility to take on those challenges and to move through them as quickly as you can. If you're moving through it not so quickly, that's fine too. It's your own place. That's just my experience with it. So some of the spiritual messages that you're getting at this time that will help you. In the first one, I slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to me. That really brings together all of this, what's happening. And if you see this, he's wearing a crown on his head. I think that's kind of cute. And so really, Spirit is really asking you to slow down and to take more time and quit rushing into things, and ask when the blockage comes, where is this blockage coming from? Is it coming from myself? Is it coming from, or am I taking on someone else's energy? How is this to assist me in my journey? How is this to help me to move forward? And so you're stepping back, and you're really noticing what's happening within your body, within your mind, within your emotional feelings. So slow down and listen to these things rather than bulldozing. And we often become upset, or I just said obsessed. That might be Spirit talking to me. That message. The next card is, I allow an inner sense of quiet to multiply each day as I strengthen my faith in the love of the universe. So this really is about group one, is you nurturing yourself, trusting in what you know, trusting in the universe, trusting in Spirit, and taking on those opportunities that allow for that. And the next card is, when I live and act from a place of spiritual alignment, I can trust that everything is working out for me, even if I don't know when or how it will happen. That's pure faith. And as I've said a billion times, fear and faith cannot coexist. It's either one or the other. They're just not. It's like water and oil. And so this is taking that on, to live, to act, to move through this next week aligned with spirit. So the first thing when you get up is do the grounding, bringing it up through your body, connecting to the divine spirit. Allow the white, blue, and gold to surround you so that you have that spiritual alignment at all times. And this week it's really going to be important for you to stay focused, okay, on what's important, to give you that sense of hope again. And the final card, wow, when I introduce joy to a situation, I change the vibrational frequency of what's happening around me. And that so goes, and it's aligned with the ancestor of hope. And this is the card, and it's such a beautiful card. So as you're moving through, it's going to, be this progression and bringing that joy back into your life. So whatever you've set up until this point, whatever you set your intentions for, are going to start really manifesting in a manner. It may have been on a smaller scale, but it's going to now begin with the fact that you're grateful for so many things, and that you are joyful, that your vibration is changing. And true manifesting is about asking for, receiving what is the highest good for all involved. And so that really is aligning with, this is so much about you finding that. I have another saying that I say all the time, and that is, find your place of peace and go there often. And that's what you are doing. You're learning to rather run towards, and words that are thrown at me are codependency, Lori. If you're running towards that, stop. Just be very mindful and go to a quiet place so that you are not reacting. Okay, so those are the messages. Now I'm going to use the messages from the women's deck. And the first message is, wow, ageless beauty with grace, dignity, and strength. I grow into the unique texture of my soul. So this is the card. And it's seeing the beauty within yourself. It's seeing when you're looking back where you may have felt that, if you got upset or, something happened and you may have felt a certain way. This is saying that really when you look back, you're going to look back and see how you did it with grace and dignity. And remember to stay in that space of grace and dignity. And I'm going to say, for me, I will say that because those are two of my core values. And I had rather gone off the beaten path a little bit with that. And we all do. The spiritual journey is just not a straight line. It is a up and down and up and down. It can make you crazy. It can make you, I've been on the spiritual journey from, as long as I can remember. And I still laugh about it, saying I had my first seance when I was 8 in the closet. And I brought back Florence Nightingale. It's too fun. But it is something that I really enjoy. That's how I first connected with spirit, before I really understood. But the idea was I was still always being told to connect with spirit. So that's what I did. And within that, I was able to nurture myself gracefully, with dignity, and through love. And because I truly believe that love is the answer. and loving ourselves first. If we can't love ourselves whole and complete first, then it's impossible to love somebody else whole and complete. And so learning that lesson, just applying it in your mind, and then doing the, that's not the other way of doing it. I forgive you, or please forgive, I forgive you, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you, and I'm sorry. And that's just reconnecting and aligning yourself with God. Okay, so which brings us to the next card, which is Enlightenment Power. And it says, I am a woman choosing the power of my own consciousness as a vehicle for my growth. So rather than allowing others to add into, or put their two cents in worth, this is really bearing your soul to yourself. It's a personal, for me, the soul's journey was a very personal journey. And so I take it on in that manner. And so I'm going to say that divine wisdom has always been my, that's what's written on my leg, is from learning and then applying knowledge, and that becomes wisdom. Enlightenment is the next step forward. So you're moving on this progression. So pile one, it's tall order, but obviously you've got it. And this brings a self-renewal. So can't say we could be any clearer, but as you clean out old energies, this provides more space for, which you to open up to more truth, to more love, to more beauty. You're just seeing the eyes through in a totally different manner. I say, if you can't find the good in something, look from the heart. When we look from the heart, we see things differently. And so this is a whole self-renewal that you've worked up to this place. So it's not something like, hey, you've got a lot of work to do, but you have worked up to this place. And so it's time for you to renew yourself, to be the person that you were meant to be, that you know that you are and can be. How fun is this? So the final card is the power of my voice. And I speak my truth and express my feelings to others with care and compassion. So that's going back to what you were talking about before. It's really speaking from that place of love, from that place of truth, honesty, with clear energies from the heart, and knowing where you want to go. It's almost if you walk into a situation that you haven't cleared, or you haven't set your intention of walking in a manner that is calm and peaceful. If you don't walk in with that attitude, you're going to present an energy that doesn't reflect what you really want. So walk forward with this attitude that allows you to speak your truth and express your feelings with others through care and compassion and love, okay? Because if you set the intention that you want to resolve issues, that you want to work through, that's what you need to do this next week, is work through those things. So that's what I have for you for this next week, pile number 1. Thank you very much. If you liked my reading, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and any comments, questions, please let me know. I really would like to very much post my my chakra meditation to clear for you. So I'll try to get that down. I've got a lot of projects going at this time, but I should have some space in order to do it. So that's it for pile number 1. And so welcome pile number 2, which was this, I'd like to say clear quartz crystal points. You can't see the points, but I believe that's iron. And I was in a cave once. There's a cave out by where I live, and it's a cool, I've been in a few caves, but in fact I love caves. Weird, but I do. And there's a cave by where I live, and the whole thing is iron ore, and it's so cool. So anyways, this is pile number 2 as I blabber on. Okay, so pile number 2, what is it, okay, that you need to work through in the next, in the next week? I'll show you the cards as you have a lot that you're working through. I do sense that there has been there's been some upheaval within your life, pile number 2. So the first card that comes up is the Shaman of Purification. So when the Shaman appears, I have to turn this the other way. With the Shaman of Purification, this is really so much about cleaning. And a suggestion is when we clean our home, or for me it's gardening. When I garden, when we lived on a farm and I had this huge garden, and so I used to go out there and I would, pick weeds, I would do all that. And as I did that, I would clean out. Another really way to purify yourself, to purify your thoughts, is to be mindful of your thoughts. But take a shower or take a bath with Himalayan bath salts, and that really works. If you're using a Himalayan bath bar, my suggestion is don't scrub. We're not scrubbing when we're just cleansing. So it's basically just a movement, and you can get a spray bottle and put Himalayan bath salts in that as well, and then spray yourself if you need to clear your energy. You need to find, go to that space of purification, so that you are ready for the next leg of your journey. Because right now, this is, for some reason, there's this week that's coming up that we all need to work through situations because of what's coming up next after that, okay? Don't know why, just that's the message. So the next card is the Shaman of Sorrows. So you have 2 shamans here that your guides. These are leaders, people that are really teaching. That's their will, that's their want, is to teach you. So basically, this Shaman of Sorrows says, please call upon me. Just call upon your healer. You can go into meditation, and you can, again, I have a meditation of that as well. You can go into meditation, and you can bring in your shamans and just ask them. We all have healers. Ask them to come in as you are working through all of your issues to clarify, and to purify and to release. And as you do so, there may be some areas in which may be a little bit more challenging, and it may be, say, like the loss of a marriage, or a loss of a child, or a loss of a family member, it may be. So the shaman is saying is that you need to go to those points, and they will be with you, but you have to ask them to come and surround you, to help you. help you to move through these rather than hanging on to them, okay? So the next card that comes up is the, sorry, it's just getting, I need to take a sip of water in a second. The next card is the Ancestor of Illusions. And so through of all of that is the reality, the truth, my belief, I'm going to say, is that all of life is pretty much an illusion. And so as you're releasing some of these, you know, hidden sorrows, or these sorrows that you've buried, and you're opening yourself up, but you're seeing things differently, because you have to see things differently when you start purifying yourself. So as you see things differently, you begin to see that you may have seen a situation differently. This actually happened to me yesterday with a conversation with somebody, and I completely reacted to the conversation rather than sitting back and thinking more about it. And I did so because of things that have happened in my past. And so from that moment, I know that I needed to purify those thoughts. I needed to transmute them. I needed to heal them, bless them, and allow them to change within me to become that of love, rather than self-doubt or rejection or any of those things. So when you start to see things differently, nothing is as it seems to be. Everything is different than what it seems to be. We all see things also differently. I learned this mostly when my ex-husband was colorblind, and so he literally saw things differently than I saw them. We saw too many things differently, but sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But anyways, I'm on a new path. So it's to see the illusions, but to always know that there was something to learn, and to incorporate that lesson within your life. And the final card in this Osho meditation deck is the Spirit of Nurturing. And so as you begin to see different kinds of illusions, I believe that you are going to be able to apply this in your life within the next week. You're going to be able to, because you're seeing things differently, but you're going to be able to apply it in a different manner. And in that sense is nurturing. And so you are going to be a better person when it comes to compassion, empathy, and you're going to be able to use this in your role in whatever job placement you're at, whether it be at home, with relationships. But you're going to be able to embrace that's just the person that you are. You are a nurturer. And so nurturing is an incredible quality. And however you were meant to feel, it was to make you stronger, to allow you to really truly understand the process, all the processes, all the experiences, all the challenges and opportunities that you've gone through. And so it was for you to become that person that is caring and has more empathy and is more mindful at this time. So the next cards are the cards from the Doreen Virtue meditation deck. I just have to take that one because I do. So the first card that presented, or that I saw, was Beloved One. So this is really about you remembering that you're not alone. And it's Archangel Chamuel, and it said, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. And so turn to Chamuel when you feel soulmates are different than twin flames. We don't always use them in the terms the way that I understand them. Twin flames are our partner. Basically, we came from the same flame and we split off with lessons to rediscover one another. Soulmates can come in many forms, along our paths. We can have more than one soulmate. We can have lots of them. There are people that come into our life that are from our community in the spiritual realm that allows us to, they help move us along. So Archangel Shamuel is saying that he is here for you to help you with your spiritual relationships. So those are the people that are closest to you. So if you're going through a situation, saying, Shamuel, can you please give me some advice? Can you please give me some direction? Can you please give me some nurturing, some caring that I need to do, that I need to learn through? So the next card is, wow, Divine Order. And so I'm guessing at this point, because of all that you've been through, that you're wanting some sort of order. But everything happens in a divine manner. And everything is, this is Archangel Raguel, and everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion. So we have this card of the illusions. Look past the illusions and see the underlying order. Why is this happening? It's happening for our growth. Okay, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Okay, next card that comes is, wow, counseling. And I think I mentioned this at some point, and that was the nurturing. This is Archangel Azrael. And I had alluded to that you would be using that nurturing as a part, one of your tools that you'll be able to use, because that's the place. So as you're learning this week and undertaking these lessons, it's really going to become clear that you are a natural counselor. Many people can benefit from your guidance and your reassurance. That's all. That role, this role that's you're taking on, is a role of the counselor, of we're friends and family, or if you happen to be a counselor. But that is that role, is that people come to you and you're wanting to always clear yourself, and then I call it the hands of God. I ask the hands of God to come down through me to connect with the other side, so that my guidance, my comfort, my reassurance, my nurturing, my empathy is coming through from the divine. It's outside of the ego. And again, learning to step outside of the ego is such a tough lesson. But once you do learn it, you can flip-flop in and out. I can do it easily when I do readings, and a lot of times, but there's other times, and that's why so much rings true to me, is that those are the things I know that I need to work on. So the next card, oh wow, so you're in a position right now, or will be in a position of thinking about changing careers, changing what's going on. You may realize that all of what has brought you up to this point, so your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. And it may be counseling, it may be supporting, but it's up to you when it comes to that point where you think, you know what, maybe I undervalued myself. I was talking to a friend, and that was one of the things that they said, is that when they looked back at their previous positions, and they're extremely brilliant and have a high-level job, and they said they didn't realize how underutilized their skills and talents were. And don't allow anybody to undervalue you. The truth is that you would be valuing you, and then you would solidify that with somebody else undervaluing you. So value you, so that when that comes through, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, what do you mean? I have to think about that, because I'm pretty sure that's not what, how I see things. So you may have been undervalued, and so you're working yourself up to a place where you can perhaps see this, and it's time to change into a position where you feel valued, where you're using your skills, where you're using your talents, your visions, and all the gifts that you have that you need to. I would go out on a limb and say this may have to do with any position. It's interesting because I am a counselor, and no matter what position I have been in my entire life, I have been a counselor. And prior to becoming a counselor, I was a counselor. I was the go-to person. It was because I knew things. And yes, it was difficult to work through that, but I always knew things. I didn't know why, and sometimes I didn't even know that I knew it, that other people didn't know it. I just knew it. It just comes to me. Speaking of which, the other night I had, there's a period of just before you fall asleep. It's called somnambulistic. I call it visioning. And so I get this flash of, something that's going to come up. And I had 2 flashes, and it was so neat. And it's something that really I love to do so much. I am grateful that I'm allowed to do this, but it just brings so much joy to me in order to do that. And so the next card is the card of sensitivity. So we're going back to, and the card reads, it's Archangel Haniel. You are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. And I do believe that's the purification and the sorrows, seeing the illusions. The other thing is you may be sensitive. That's just, you are, because you can, feel some things. You may be able to, you may just have different abilities which make you more sensitive because of the fact that you can see, or you can feel, or you can become more aware of what's going around you, and that can affect your mental being. And so when we first bring it on, when we start that sensitivity, ask it who it's for, who it's meant for, and how it can assist you. And if it's for yourself, that's great. If it's for somebody else, then use your abilities, use your skills. Maybe somebody needs, just a voice to listen to. Next card that comes up is, okay, easy enough. These are just so lining up so beautifully. Remember who you are. And I think that's Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael is really saying that this process right now that you're moving through, and so that's why there may be a career transition, and why you're so extra sensitive, and why you're an amazing counselor, is because Archangel Michael is as well. He's such an incredible guide. And so he wants you to remember that you are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God, and that you are very, very loved. And if you need to say that over 1 billion times to yourself, I am a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. I am very loved. And then if you want to ho'oponopono and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, that's fine. But it's about remembering who you are, and that's the purification, moving past the illusions, releasing the sadness, and then nurturing. And so that's going to be a part of your path. Wow. The next card is the moon cycles. This is Haniel again. So Haniel has a huge presence here. Haniel is one of the most gentle archangels, spirit guides that is available to us. She's just has such a beautiful energy, and she's offering to you her guidance. And so it says, she's saying that notice how the moon affects your energy and the manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. And so, during a new moon, we would set intentions. During a full moon, we would release what we need to release. Waning wounds also often can come with, it's a good time to go through that sorrow period. On the other side, it's time to fill ourselves up with the thoughts and messages that are necessary for our journey. So I'm going to next do the women's deck, and the first card is the flow of partnership. So what you're needing for the next week to do is recognize that any kind of partnership, there is a flow. And if you can become aware of that flow, that can aid you in the ebb and flow of the movement forward, and knowing that all relationships have these up and downs, and they have these different aspects to them. And so it's just being aware of the flow of the partnerships, and that could be in any manner in which, over the next week, which may be triggering you. Actually, it says haunting you, but that just means it's in your mind. It's been sitting in your mind. Now just allow it to flow naturally, as it should, because you're shifting and you're changing and you're making new decisions. And so you're really quite sensitive at this time, but there still is a flow. So the next card that comes in, wow, perfect, the feminine law of attraction. And this is really embracing the creative activity, interesting word that you're saying, and the creative adventure that is what is called your life, and understand that it's time to celebrate yourself as the creator, as the co-creator. Now in this picture it shows this energy, and so I learned many years ago it's called the ball of energy. And so if we put our hands together like this and feel in our hands that there's a ball of energy, and as you start to feel it, and it can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and just allow that energy to grow and grow, and continually sending it, because you're sending it through your third eye, love and healing, and allow that energy to grow, because you're wanting to bring in the energy that most is what you want to present to the outer world. Okay, so fill her up. And this one is the power of self-talk. And so that's the sorrows. We often get so caught up in negative self-talk. We just continue on that story rather than just saying stop. Just stop the insanity, stop the madness. It has to stop. And reminding yourself, so if you say a negative statement such as, oh, I'm so stupid, say, I am in a learning curve right now, and I'm learning this, and I'm grateful for the ability to be able to learn, and then call upon, Archangel Shamuel or Haniel, and ask for them to come in to help, again, clear your thoughts. Because you can chakra clear, but you can also very much concentrate on one area. But if it's your thoughts, sending that blue light all around your head and change those thoughts, okay? And the final card of these is this inner wakefulness. And through this next week is this change that you are becoming completely awake and tuned into your own truth, not into the truths of others, but it's able to see the clarity and having learned, and this is your own personal inner wisdom. So you are really awakening to this, and so this is the card of the inner wakefulness, and that if you see and hear, this is all come from, I'm not sure that's a phrase, but anyways, that's all coming from your passions. And so living that, once you're fully awake in your own spirituality, then life changes in an extremely incredible manner. And so the messages that come along with this, wow, I thought it was going to be a short reading. I talked too much. Is spiritual alignment puts my manifestations into into motion. And so, you know what, when you do connect with spirit, when you align with spirit, and you completely trust, when you're aligned, means complete trust and faith, then that puts the manifestation into motion. And you need to stay within that vibration. And if you step outside of that vibration momentarily, it's to come back and love yourself for it, move forward, and then move on, let it go. And again, same card from last time, as I slow down. You really need to slow down at this point. Slow down and listen to the guidance that's available to you. Divine order. Samuel. And so take on what you feel is most necessary for your growth. So always ask in the highest interest of my spiritual growth, my spiritual manifestation, my relationships, my, a new job. What do I need to learn, know, and see? Oh, I love this. Believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming, even when I can't yet see the results. So this is what I'm talking about, fear and faith. This is the faith part. When you believe fully in the spiritual guidance, in your spiritual journey, this gives you complete certainty that the freedom is available to you to keep on dreaming, even if things have let you down or blocked you, even when you can't see the results. Knowing spirit is working. When you believe in that process, you will believe that it's available to you. Next card. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, okay. I allow the universe to catch up with my dreams. So you may be feeling at this time that you have asked the universe for, or set certain intentions at this time, because you've been asked to, slow down and listen to the guidance that's available rather than reacting and responding. The universe wants to catch up to you. They want you to say step back, and so that you can hear them, and that you can learn their wisdom or utilize the wisdom that they are so willing to share with you. And it's that this next week that you are going to be following that pathway. So that's what I have for you for pile 2. And thank you very much for visiting my channel. If you like, please like. If you need to subscribe, if you're new, please subscribe, because this does help me out in this this journey path that I am very passionate about. And like, subscribe, and comment, because I will listen to comments. And have an incredible week. There's a lot to process through, and that's okay, because Spirit doesn't give you what you can't handle. God doesn't give you what you can't handle. So, namaste. Welcome, pile 3, and this is the Apitite. It's the blue. It's the blue, and it's beautiful. It's actually quite stunning. So, what is happening in pile number 3? What's transpiring in their world at this point? That needs to be, wow, needs to be made aware of for this upcoming week. Holy, this is a huge, ouch. I've got to do both of these. Okay, this is a huge week ahead of you, pile number 3. So the first card that comes up is the Hunter of Gifts. And so this is telling me that for you, pile number 3, within this next week, you may have set intentions, or you may have looked for certain things, needed certain things. Know that Spirit is ahead for you, has moved ahead, walked ahead, and they are seeking out those gifts that you asked for, you desired, that you intend. And that's the manifestation of it. So he seeks, if there's something that has not come your way, sometimes they will give it to you so you can realize that, nope, I didn't really want that. So you're not asking for everything. But things just work in that manner, but they go ahead, and it's about manifestation and being grateful completely. Because if you look at the card and that light that's behind it, it's that your light is shining forward because you have spoken your truth. You have spoken what you truly want out of life, from your life, with your life. And Spirit wants you to have these gifts. So they will go ahead and then point you in the right direction. So you have to pay attention. The other card, this is a fantastic card to get, is the Shaman of Foresight. And that means that it's very possible that there is a being in your life. This would be a higher being council. It could be in the spirit world as well. But they're helping you to open up your third eye, which is where your foresight is. And I said I will just very lightly tap my third eye to open up. I also watch the sunset, and you just have to do it for 2 minutes daily, and that will decalcify, I think that's the word, decalcify but cleanse your third eye. And so that foresight is so important, but you're learning to work with it and work through the self-doubts, the negative thoughts, so that the foresight serves you, so that you're walking in that part of the journey. So understand, listen to, and be guided by shaman, so that you know when you're always asking for the highest good of all, when you're asking in truth, in your highest truth, and according to your values, strengths, and traits, you will be able to envision this. You will be able to see this. And when I didn't share this with this group, but I have this a gift. Is actually, I think it's available to everybody, but it's called Ballistic activities just prior to falling asleep, and I get visions that go through my head. And the other night I had 2 visions that flashed through, and I always have to write them down because I do tend to forget the full, and they were really cool visions. And so that's my foresight, and that's what brings me hope, and that's what keeps me motivated and moving, because I do know for myself one of my major goals is to reach as many people as possible with this gift. And again, I don't take credit for the gift, because God gave me this gift. So Spirit has been with me, trying to teach me. I've been resistant in a lot of manners, but I do have a gift, and I do understand that. And it still surprises me, which I like, because I think that keeps me honest. But because it's outside of the ego, I don't actually even always know what's happening, or what I've said or how. But it's just this thought comes into my head, Spirit says blah blah blah, and I just speak it, and it works. So anyways, with with that foresight is now the Hunter of Honor. And so it's a little bit different what I'm hearing in this. In this is to honor your gifts, talents, skills, and abilities, no matter what they are. No matter what they are. Your gifts are your gifts. They're unique to yourself. I am an intuitive. I am an empath. I am a medium. I'm a channeler. All that. You know, I really don't like to identify in any kind of way. I just love doing this, and I love counseling. So Spirit is saying this foresight that you are able to see once you've cleared out is to respect that. Honor your gifts. If you're not honoring your gifts, you are pushing yourself away from Spirit. You're pushing yourself away from all of the love and all of the gifts that are available, because you need to be grateful and you need to honor them. You don't misuse them, don't mistreat them. If they, you know, any kind of gifts, it's to use in a positive way. This analogy just came to me. It's, say, somebody that was a child and had a very difficult childhood, and they learned to fight, because perhaps they were bullied. As they grew older and new awarenesses came, they maybe learned to be more spiritual or connected to Spirit, to understand themselves better. So they used those gifts as the fighting, either to say, coach kids, and one of those coaching techniques is, boxing, and that can be very therapeutic for a lot of people. Or they can use it as in a playful manner, rather than, it's that connection. And so it's utilizing and honoring the gifts that you have been blessed with. Okay, because this is the ancestor of skill, and that actually came with the Dancer of New Beginnings. So the ancestor of skills is really about honing these skills, and it's walking forward, but it's also about being unique. It literally is. But these skills that you possess have been with you from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, if you do believe in the afterlife. So that you're honoring your skills, and you can ask your ancestors for help. The ancestors that had those skills, whether they be as a mechanic, and say, hey, how do I do this? Where do I do this? Like, what do I need to do? And so you're honoring that, and then you are using them. Like, what's the purpose of a skill if you're just going to not use them? So use it, because that's your new beginning. So within the next week, you have, work to go through to reconnect with lots that you have left behind. And it's time for new beginnings, and it's time to stop deflecting from the truth of where your journey is going. And the first card I'm going to the next deck, which is the Archangel deck by During Virtue, and it's the card of victory. And the card of victory is Sandalphon. That's okay. So our Archangel Sandalphon is telling you, and when we talked about the Hunter of Gifts, and so perhaps the Hunter would be Sandalphon. So call upon Sandalphon, because it's the card of victory, and he says your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. Have faith as that movement comes towards. It may be not happening in the exact moment in time or space or way that you want it to, and that's why we always say in the highest and greatest good. And you don't have to know the why. You need to know what you truly want, in all honesty. And you have to have faith and trust that you have your prayers and intentions have been set and answered. And the answer is on its way down to you. Okay, so the next card that comes up, is Moon Cycles. And so this is such an awareness of different times of our life. But I think because of what this card, how it reflects in your deck is that as there are victories, as you do learn to set intentions, you're going to learn to utilize the cycles of the moon to set your intentions, to set your manifestations, and you're going to capitalize on these cycles. So you'll learn and you'll know when it's the time, the full moon, to release, the new moon to set new intentions, so the new growth, and then the moon that when we are releasing, and then there's the waxing and the waning. I'm not sure which one's the right way, but the other one is when they start coming up to us, and that's the manifestation cycle. I hope that makes sense. Clear as mud, yes. Okay, so the next card is, remembering who you are. And it's pretty much what we have talked about, is that once you do remember fully, that's with the new beginnings, all these new skills that you're learning, and a new beginning, that's coming from remembering that you are a child of the universe, that you're a child of the creator, of God, of the divine spirit, and that you are very loved. And so if you have forgotten that, it's time to remember that you are loved. God doesn't say you're not loved if you do a certain thing. God guarantees, or the creator or spirit guarantees, that you are always loved, and you are always going to be presented with experiences that are necessary for your growth. Okay, so I think it's this one. Let me get to yeah, of course, spiritual understanding. That makes complete sense. So this is Archangel Raziel. So as you these new beginnings transpire, you are going through a whole new spiritual understanding of cycles and ways, and it's lots to do with, I'm going to say, manifestations of mathematical figures, and seeing how everything is relatable, how we are all connected. But it's also is that this is Archangel Raziel, and so he says that I'm bringing you esoteric information through symbols and helping you to understand your spiritual truth. It's, if we can align our humanness with our spiritual, because they are connected, they're one, they're together, we are in, our spirit is within us, it's within our body, and we need to connect those two. And Raziel wants you to prepare for this, to work towards that, to understand that spirit is within you, and pay attention to signs and symbols. Okay, it's important. Those signs and symbols are what is going to move you forward into your next step. So there's a big journey for you. Like the next week is going to be a lot of interesting information that's going to be revealed, and it's really important that you're gentle with yourself. I think what he just said was, it's for you to be a kinder, gentler person, because that kinder, gentler person is the person that you truly are. Okay, and so 3 cards from the women's spirit deck, women's wisdom of the women, and the first card is, I embrace my body. That's an incredibly beautiful card. I honor and embrace all of my body. I am receptive to her special needs. This is so imperative for you at this time. This is about feelings. This is about understanding. It's about understanding your body and honoring what your gifts are, with your talents, with your skills. And I'm not just talking on a spiritual, if say if you're a reader or want to be have gifts of clairaudience, clairessence, all of these things. I'm talking about any kind of skills, even those skills and gifts. It's just honoring and being receptive to your special needs. We are all unique, and we all are on the same, I'm going to say, level. There is nobody that's above me. There's nobody that's below me. That's my belief. Nobody that's, say, better than me. And we've all been through, are going through different aspects of our journey in our life at this time. You know, just because someone has made more money doesn't mean that they're better than you or that they're smarter than you even. They just had a different path that they were that they had chosen, okay? The next card is boundaries. I love this card. So boundaries, and this is about setting your boundaries, because it's really important. Say, I'm going to use myself as an example, is that people will want to know more, and that's fine. However, I do believe, and many readers just want to, not many readers will give away their gift, with how they consider that for free. I don't really know the theory, but I come from a family that is very, spiritual, very intuitive, that just has this gift. But I also come from a family that has extremely incredible athletic talents, and they are allowed to use those, and they are allowed to use that as a job. And that's basically what this is saying. So protect your boundaries. And I don't mind, I actually love helping people out, but I know that I need to solidify those boundaries and say, my time, my energy is important. And the final card is, oh my gosh, is your inner guidance system. And we talked about that with the spiritual understanding. And so this is really, this next week for you is noticing this inner guidance system taking you forward, because you're being led through your heart. You're speaking your truth, and you come into this really calm, comfortable place, this gentle place, where if you just close your eyes, or, you know, relax, take 10 minutes out and just ask for the answers. The best answers always come from this calm, radiant, connected place within. And this is aligned with spirit. So that's part of that spiritual journey. So really notice a lot of symbols that all of a sudden appear, or you see through your peripheral, or you see in your dreams. Just be aware of those and pay attention, and know that they're real and they're there to help you. So the spiritual messages that come from in here, the first one is true manifesting is about receiving what is for the highest good of all. And that's the only way to do it. You do, when you want, say it's about yourself and your truth, that is about you, but we are all a community, so we always want the highest good of all, in any situation. So if you just ask for that to be what transpires, what you want, your intention set for the best outcome for all involved, and then trust that whatever that outcome was for the highest good of all. Okay, so the next card is, oh, my red bird. I have this red, this is I can't remember the card, cardinal, but I have these really adorable, cute, I think it's called a purple finch, and it's 3 families in huge trees next door, and I just love listening to their song. The universe is always conspiring to support me, to guide me, and lead me compassionately towards the highest good. So that's real. There's so much here about your highest good and that spiritual connection. So the universe is conspiring on behalf of you to support you, to guide you, to lead you to the lessons that you came here to learn. And the next card, I allow my inner quiet. So this is such a calm period. And all three, that was the one thing that all three piles had in common, was this calm and gentle place. And so that may have been from a time coming from that space of, you know, trying to rearrange, just trying so many different things, and perhaps things just weren't working out, and we're all needing to take a step back and breathe. And so anyways, I allow my inner sense of quiet to multiply each day as I strengthen my faith in the love of the universe. And that's the card, and that's also the community. And trust spirit, trust in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, people can, as many people want to, believe in you, but you need to be the one that believes in yourself. You need to believe in yourself, and you need to strengthen your faith in the love of the Creator, in God, in love, in that connection. That's what's going to create that flow. This is so much about manifestation. Again, true manifestation. I said this. True manifestations are powered by service and love. I don't really think I need to explain any more about that. But pile 3, that is your reading, and so I hope that it gave you a little bit of guidance for the next week. That's going to be kind of a pretty powerful time for you. But always remembering that what you're transpiring through, or what you're moving through, is what is necessary for you to move through at this time for your soul's journey. And it's, what am I needing to learn? How am I needing to grow? And moving you towards new beginnings. And so I say thank you very much. Namaste. Have a blessed and incredible day. If you liked what you heard, and the guidance that Spirit brings, please like, subscribe, and comment if possible, if you'd like to. I would love to read comments. And see, that just going to point out here, there's a painting back here. I have an incredibly talented friend. I think she goes in Gail Rooney, but she's an artist, and just a brilliant artist. She's one of my first roommates way back when, and she was an aerobic instructor, and her energy is so spectacular, but her artistry, it comes from that energy. Like, she is just motivated. And so I just wanted to point that out from Gail. She's incredible. Again, always thank Freedom's Wind for stones that I get, and I've actually reached out to her to connect with her because I need to learn, get a new view to my connection. Anyways, have a wonderful day. I will see you soon. Much love, joy, happiness, and thank you once again.